Today I'm doing something a little special. I know I'm not like vlogging, which is kind of weird for me, but I have a brother and his name is Ben. I'd basically just be like telling y'all his life. And I know that's boring for some people, but his story's kind of one in like every 100 and no, is that a number? 100,000 people. So yeah, I'm gonna go get him and then we'll start. Will we?
Like, can I just say?
You realize the lighting, like it needs to be.
The lighting.
Okay, I guess you can sit there. Okay. So this is my brother. His name's Ben.
Restart it. I didn't like the peace sign that I did.
You can't be that picky.
No. Take 30 seconds.
This is my brother Ben. We're 16 months apart. He's 16 months older than me. Okay, so basically I'm going to ask him questions, and what he's going to do is he's going to answer them, and then you'll start...
Answer the questions.
Answer the questions, yeah. And then you'll start getting like a good idea of kind of what his life was like. When was the first time you started using meth? When was the first time you got pulled over?
When I ran a red light, it was like 6:30 in the morning.
Do you think you took advantage of like how much we trusted each other?
I definitely sent you down the wrong path.
Yeah.
For a little while.
Just a little bit. So you went down the wrong path freshman year. No, you were good freshman year.
I was alright freshman year.
Yeah. You went down the wrong path sophomore year.
I don't know, junior year sucked. I got kicked off the lacrosse team. That wasn't fun. Grades weren't there. Relationship with anyone besides my sister wasn't there. I had friends that were, also not making the right decisions that most people shouldn't be making, or that all people shouldn't be making. Whenever I would get in trouble for something, I'd blame it on anything that's not me, because I thought it was like the world doing this to me, when in reality, like, it was me doing it to myself.
I'll tell you my side first, and then he can tell you his side. I went to one of my friend's house for a sleepover, and I wake up, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go, like, my mom says I have to be home. He basically just said that, like, Ben isn't gonna be at home for a while. For a good 2 weeks, I was, like, in shock. Like, I was like, this isn't, like, it just feels like he just went to a camp for, like, a week and a half. And then I started to, like, get super lonely, and, like, that's when my depression hit.
I get home at 1 or 2 in the morning. It's June 3rd. And I call one of my friends. I'm like, yo, like, let's sneak out. Like, it'll be fun. And she's like, no, like, it's a bad idea. Something bad's going to happen. I just have this bad feeling. And I was like, okay, I'll just stay home then. So I'm laying in bed. And my stepdad comes up and checks on me, like, 4 times between 1 and 4. And I was like, what is happening right now? And then I finally fall asleep. And then I wake up at 6:30 in the morning to 2 men I've never seen in my entire life before. My mom's like, get up, you have a flight. And I was like, I have a flight? What do you mean I have a flight? She's like, you have a flight. And I was like, to where? And she's like, to Idaho. And I was like, oh, do I have to pack a bag? And they're like, no, you can, that's already been, like, taken care of. And I was like, all right. And I was like, do I get to bring my phone? And they're like, no. And I, like, freaked out after that. End up in Idaho. I end up in Idaho at this therapy program. And they're like, yo, so, like, this is wilderness, like, we're going to take you to the headquarters, and you're going to get dressed out, and you're going to get all your supplies that you need, and then we're going to take you out. So they, like, search me when I get there, and, like, they made me put this robe on. I stayed there from June 4th to August 10th, and I'm talking, like, you're hiking with a 40, 50-pound backpack on your back, 11 to 12 miles at a time.
Are you sleeping?
Yeah, they gave you a tent, but I ditched my tent the 3rd night because it was too much to carry. It would be 95 during the day, and then at night it was 10 degrees. So you'd wake up in the morning and have to put on your teddy, which was like this really warm sweatshirt, and like all these bundles, and by 2 o'clock you're wanting to take your shirt off because it's so hot. So the last weekend I was there, I ended up hiking 36.5 miles, or 36.25 in 3 days. We hiked the loop. I get a call, like, this is like 2 days before I graduate, and then they're like, my mom and our dad are coming out, like, it'll be fun, you get to visit with them for 1 day before you go on to your next program. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, like, I'm at the house is, like, the headquarters where, like, they hold the graduation ceremony and everything, and, like, I'm just getting out of our van that, like, transported all the kids that were graduating that day, like, looking for cars to pull up, because I haven't seen my parents in 2.5 months. My parents were in it, and I was like, oh, those are my parents, whatever. And, like, my dad's like, hey, let's go put your travel bag in the car. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, like, I go put my travel bag in the car, and my sister hops out the car. And, like, I think that was, like, one of the craziest moments of my life because, like, I didn't expect it at all.
Oh, my God, no.
We went to see Spider-Man Homecoming that night after driving to Utah, because Utah was the location of my next place. And the next day, I get dropped off at the place that I'm staying at. This place was gorgeous.
Oh my gosh,
gorgeous.
It was so pretty. Imagine, like, a big frat house. Like,
yeah, we'd go on field trips, like, go play dodgeball somewhere. Oh my god, I get so much. Like, I don't mean to do it, it just comes out.
I know.
Therapist knocks on the door and he's like, yo, I need you to come to my office. I was like, alright. So, like, I come to his office and he's like, you're moving places. And I was like, what, why? So,
like, even inside. Like,
inside it was
when we were visiting him, like, there's this, like, game room, and, like, you'd go to the bathroom and come back, and, like, you'd have to get someone to unlock the door for the game room, and it was inside.
It was
like,
crazy. There was no unlocked doors in the entire facility.
So, basically, like, the first camp was very, like, self-guided, and it was, I guess it was for, like, kids who were obviously, like, struggling, but, like, they were somewhat on the right path, so, like, that's a place he could have gone to after the therapeutic boarding school that he went to first. Yeah. And, like, it just, like, he wasn't, like, mentally there yet. Like, that was a really good program for the people that, like, worked with it, but we felt that the other one just had a little bit more structure, and he's also a senior, so it was super important for him to get enough credits. That was also a really big thing.
When I went to Wilderness, like, Wilderness isn't, it's more of, like, a stepping stone. Like, it's for kids to understand what the rest of this process is going to be like. A week or two in, I got to see my parents for the second time in, like, 5 months. Because I was at, the first place I was at from August 11th to, like, October 4th. So I get to the last place, blah, 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 whatever, and then, like, I see my parents. It was cool. I saw them for, like, 2 days, but I didn't get to go off campus or anything.
You had, like, a month and a half to get everything together.
Yeah, I had a month and a half to get my entire life together, basically. And after that moment, I got put on RF, which is, like, you can't talk to anyone, you can't see anyone, like, you have to be in your room. And I was in my room for 36 hours on my own. In that 36 hours, I was like, okay, now is my time. Like, I have to do. So from that point on, which was, like, 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, I behaved. We had a level system there, which was explore, apply, impact, and test. Off-campus visits, you have to get your apply. So I got my apply. Cheers to me. Felt really good because it was the first time I had ever leveled up in, like, a therapy program, because before I hadn't. And then got to see my parents, got to stay off town with them, got to talk to all my homies and stuff, and it was really cool. And then I came back, and my therapist was like, dude, like, if you keep behaving like this, like, you can go home for a visit. And I was like, bet. So then I, like, behaved even better, and I got my impact, which was the 3rd level, went home for Christmas, and, like, kept behaving and stuff like that. And my therapist was like, look, so I think your plan for the rest of the time is, like, so I had my last visit on the 17th through the 22nd, and I was home, got to go out, like, got to spend the night at people's houses, like, things that you guys might take for granted but in reality, like, means a lot, because when you lose the things that are closest to your heart, it really hurts. And, like, that's one thing I learned, one of the biggest lessons I think I learned while being away is hold your people close, enjoy the little things in life, and be thankful for what you have, because once it's taken from you, it feels horrible. And then I get called into my therapist's office, and he's like, you're leaving in, like, a month. And I was like, holy shit. Like, in the time that I had gotten to my first program, my therapist was like, you're not seeing your parents at Christmas. Like, there's no way, even if you behave perfectly. Coming from that point to the point where, and I was supposed to leave, like, therapy at the end of my senior year, so June of my senior year.
Yeah, so, like, June 6th.
Yeah, like, June 6th was when I was supposed to leave, originally. To the point where my next therapist it's late January, and he's like, you're going home in a month, was insane. Like, the fact that I shortened my visit by 4 months with the way I was behaving was crazy. I ended up just taking the community college route for right now, and then I'm going to transfer into UT, hopefully. I'm with a really cool fraternity, and my life feels like together, and, like, I haven't done anything since I got back that my parents have been, like, you're an idiot. I've been focused on school. I've been focused on bettering my relationship with those around me, like making the right decisions, like being honest with everyone around me. So I've been home for 6 months, and I've made like one mistake where my parents were like, you're an idiot. Other than that, like, I'm a completely different person. I'm changed. Like, it feels really good. And like, I don't know, I feel like some people are still judgmental of the fact that like I went down that path and like had to go somewhere else because of my behaviors. But like, in the end, like, I don't really care what anyone thinks about me. Like, I'm proud of what I've been through, and I'm proud of what I did, and proud of the steps I took to be where I am at today.